Hello, YouTube. This is Ewan Spence and ESC Insight calling. Allora, it's time for Italia. That's a terrible accent. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. And today's lesson on the ESC Insight YouTube clips of our song review podcast is quite clearly a Scots Italian accent still sounds like a Scot. Right then. Returning to the contest, Marco Mengoni winning through Sanremo this year with Vite. It's heading to Liverpool, so we're going to take a chance to review it. Is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe? And what was Sanremo like this year? I'm going to get on the high horse, and Laura and Rita are hopefully just going to tamp down the expectations just a little bit more. Because Sanremo, you and I need words. And it's because Sanremo has been so focused on doing well at the Eurovision Song Contest since Soldi. They just got incredibly hungry. And that did wonders for Italian music outside of Italy. And it did wonders for bringing more modern music into the Italian public consciousness through Sanremo. But I do think there's an almost Faustian pact between the broadcaster and the music industry. So when we got to this year's Sanremo, after the Italian hosting, the Italian music industry rightly said, we want a Sanremo that's not chasing Eurovision for at least a year. Give us that. And that's what they got. When you look through the artists, they're all either up-and-coming or returning artists. When you look through the music, it's all very much the Italian charts. But there aren't any of those big smash numbers. There aren't anything that's really getting outside of Italy. Now, in one sense, that's great. That's why I started watching Sanremo, for Italian music. But everything this year just felt a little trade show. There were a few there were thinking, yeah, that gets through. Be quite happy with that. Madame going through. Yeah, that'd be great. Lazao. That would be wonderful going through as well. But, you know, like Elodie's turned up again. Yay. Paul and Chiara. It's just like, really? Really? Sanremo's one concession to doing something that's not Italian is trying to do Swedish slug? Seriously, Sweden's got Lorraine. Stop trying to be Sweden by sending whatever the Italian for Bobby Socks is. You may have noticed that A, I'm on a rant, and B, I've not mentioned Marco's song yet. And that's because it's the most beige Italian, I'm a man and I know it and I'm Italian and I know it and I've got a small coffee and I'm not afraid to drink it at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is nothing. It is fluff. It is the representation of the quiet, dismissive version of Allora. It does nothing for me. And he's better than this. He was better when he was doing the covers act. He was singing a Beatles song. That's what you do, Sanremo. You're going to Liverpool, you send Ringo Starr. 3 years too early. Beige. That's it. Beige. Somebody pick up the ball. I'm done.
Last year, I think I had about 20 of the 27 songs or 28 songs at the time that were on my constant rotation for such a long time. And this year, when Marco Mengoni was announced, I was so happy because this is the kind of music I listen to. Like, I love Ola, I love Venere e Marte, I love Mi Fidero, Ma Stasera, several of his other songs. And I was hoping for something a little faster, a little funky, a little interesting, like the last two, and like Mi Fidero and Ma Stasera. And then we hear Due Vite, and I'm there looking like my expectations and what was on screen was very different. But I have something with Italian music. There's something there. There is something that Tuesday evening you hear Marco Mengoni song, you're like, Saturday evening you hear Marco Mengoni song, you're like, that's the one. Yes, he's a man, he's good looking, he's singing, but he's giving it his all. And when I rewatched the performance, the final performance, this song inhabits him somehow. He's there, he's giving it his all. I love it. I unashamedly love it. I'm sorry. I know the first listen matters, and in Eurovision, this is what matters the most. But for me now, it's really a really nice song. He almost doesn't care about Eurovision in a way. The guy has concerts that are fully booked, and one of them is in Paris, and I'm going to go see him in a couple of days. And he's not doing the pre-parties. He doesn't need to do any of that. He's established as an artist, and he's just going to Eurovision to put some of his music forward.
Look, I think I'm between Rita and Ewan, which is obviously a lovely place to be. It is a little bit bland. I think it's one of the weaker entries Italy have sent recently. I mean, saying that they won recently, so you're always going to be a bit weaker than winning, I think, unless you really brought your A game again. But I also agree with Rita saying about the Italian language. It's always beautiful to listen to. I think Italy have sent a touch of class again listening to that song. It's a beautiful song to listen to, and it's not just the language. I think it's that lilting piano. It is really a beautiful song to listen to, but it does drag a little bit for me. It drags a little bit. There isn't that something to hold on to sing along to. I suppose there is and I'm sorry, I'm not very good with Italian, but the darmi bit that he repeats, and that will be the bit that, you know, people will remember, probably that they'll replay again when they're getting people to vote at the end. So that there's that section there, and that is something that people are going to kind of hold on to. Like you say, Ewan, it's just an Italian man singing. So for me, I think I'm going to have to stick with a maybe on this one. It's not a hit, but it's not too much of a miss. So I'm going to go for maybe for this.
This song reminds me a little bit of Fire More in a way, because at first it didn't grab me, and then when it grabbed me, it just didn't let go. And I think I want to mention something about Marco. His presence on stage is a little awkward. He doesn't look down the camera at all. At times he feels elusive, like he's trying not to look, or he's looking away from the camera. But then when he catches the camera with his eye, he grabs you. And the fact that the song, he feels everything about the song, that makes it a package as a performance for me. It's still a hit.
The song for me doesn't stand out, and you know, I always say in Jukebox Jury when I've got a very strong bias, and I have a very strong bias for Italian music. That has probably been clear over decades of Jukebox Jury. And that means the highs are very high, but it also means that the lows are very low. There's just a bigger sense of, and that just pulls it down a little bit more for me. So Italy, for the first time in I don't know how long, you're getting a miss from me. Italy's entry to the Eurovision Song Contest. They are, of course, hosts last year by virtue of the fact that they won the contest 2 years ago in 2021. Are they ready to bring the contest back to their shores quickly? We shall find out when we get to Liverpool. But for now, you know what we think of the song. It's our opinion. You can leave your opinion in the comments as well, or you can hang around for another song review. Whatever works for you. Ta-ra for now. You've been listening to the highlights of Jukebox Jury as we preview the Eurovision Song Contest 2023. Find out more and listen to our podcast, www.escinsight.com.